Cool.
Good morning and welcome to the National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering for Cup Finals weekend 2025. We'll start here on court number 2 with the non-cup final, and indeed it's the Grand Prix final of the sitting volleyball. We have the reigning champions Sitting Bucks taking on Help Heroes. Michael Hanson-Morris, delighted to be joined by Justin Phillips for this. And Justin, 5 rounds of group play, a final 4, and it all comes down to a rare 5-setter. What are you looking forward to most about this game?
I think we both want competitive play here, really. I think Sitting Bucks, they're very strong. If you look at the likes of what they've played in the last few games against them, they've won every single one of them, but that was then, this is now. We're hoping for a good final. Hopefully Help the Heroes can take a couple of sets off them. They could be strong. There's the likes of Charlie, the likes of Wazza, Jockham and all that lot. But Sitting Bucks, they've got some strong players in there, like John Monroe, Rob Richardson, Kevin Tan. But if they've got a strong serve, hopefully Help for Heroes can take a few sets off them.
Indeed, obviously the race to 5, obviously the rest of the Grand Prix have been best of 3 sets. These sides both have won multiple Grand Prix titles. Help for Heroes last won it back in 2020 and were the runners-up in 2023. And as for the Sitting Bucks, they have won the last 3 in a row, trying to make it 4 and become the second most all-time winner of the Grand Prix Series, trailing just the East London Lynx, the 5-time champions. And we'll start with the reigning champions, Justin. This group have been dominant in the regular season of the Grand Prix, winning every single stage. What's jumped at you most about this team this season?
I think it's the cohesion they have as a team. They train every week. You can definitely tell they train every week. They have a way of playing. They have a philosophy of playing. They have strong players in that team. They have a good philosophy of playing, a good personality of players in there. So that's why they're winning every game. They're too strong for teams that they've played against. You look at some of the scores. They've won by 12, they've won by 15. But when they get on the roll, they get on the roll.
Indeed, and obviously the experience of this Sitting Bucks team, obviously led by the captain, the GB senior men's captain Rob Richardson, and that core group's been together so long. How much does that synergy really help them kind of grow and integrate a couple of new faces to the team as well? Yeah,
there's a couple of new faces, but when you've got the experience like Rob Richardson, he can show you the dark arts of sitting volleyball, can show you the experience that he has, the quality of play that he brings to Sitting Bucks, and then he can pass that on to the new players. You've got Steve Smith, the coach, Steve Smith. He's played sitting volleyball for a while. He's coached it as well. He's refereed it as well. So the new players that have come in have gelled really well with them. They just straight away. They've just kind of come straight in, and they've got straight into the team. So I feel like they might be a bit strong for them, but you never know. It's the final.
Indeed, and obviously on the other side, we talk about the Help for Heroes, 3rd in the Grand Prix standings, but had a crucial victory in the final 4 stage over Salisbury Spitfires to make it here the 17-15 third set. And obviously, Help for Heroes trying to get back in, but again, you talk about the experience of it isn't that Help for Heroes don't have it, obviously, with the likes you already mentioned, John Morrill, but what's impressed you about this team to make that leap forward into making a final?
Oh, the Help for Heroes guys, they're from the army, so they're always fighting for every single point. You'll notice they're loud. They fight for every point there. They don't let that ball drop. As soon as that ball doesn't drop, they're there, they're up, they're going. So hopefully Help for Heroes can have a quick style of play, and the likes of John Moore, Charlie Walker and Jockham can hopefully push this team forward to hopefully win the final against Sitting Bucks.
Yeah, and it's obviously you see them just getting their team photo, of course, big occasion for both teams. Obviously, these sides have met 5 times already. So obviously, style of play, so from your experience, Justin, what are teams looking at in the build-up to a one-off game to really just on the minute adjustments that will help them?
I think when it comes to kind of serving, with the serving mentality-wise, you've got to look for the weak spots. That's what I see it as on the opposite team. You've got on Sitting Bucks, there's a few weak players that kind of serve-receive. And Sitting Bucks will look at players on the Help for Heroes that kind of blocking-wise. John Monroe's fantastic when it comes to hitting. He's probably one of the best hitters in Great Britain, alongside myself. But you've got the likes of John Monroe, you've got Kev and Rob, who's a setter, so he'll set up John Monroe and he'll work off the top of the block against the likes of maybe Woz, who maybe don't have such a strong block, but sometimes Woz will have a fantastic hit against other people. And you've got to look at Nedja Rana, he's the libero for Health for Heroes, so he's a specialist passer, so they'll stay well away from him. He will dominate that backcourt again, dominate the backcourt for Help the Heroes, so hopefully they will push them towards taking a couple of sets.
Indeed, as we're just about to get ready for the introductions here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering, as both teams being asked to come on to court. Obviously, the most recent meeting between these sides was the Final Four stage. Sitting Bucks won it 2-0, but it was close, 25-21. The second set was nip and tuck for a while, and Sitting Bucks made a run late to win it 25-19. They have run for the 5 meetings between these sides, so they will come in with that favourites tag.
Yeah, 100%, but I think when it comes to a final, you kind of wipe that away. This is a one-off game. Yes, they both made it through to the final, but you wipe off that clean slate. That's what Charlie Walker's there as a coach. He would have told them, he would have said, this is a one-off game. They both have to turn up on the day. And it will come down to it. Who can take them points? Who can push their players to the max? And hopefully we'll end off with one winner, and it will either be Sitting Bucks or Health for Heroes.
Indeed, and obviously the other event in the Sitting Series is the Cup Final, and for the first time all year, Sitting Bucks didn't win.
Yeah.
They fell short and in fact fell to 4th place. They didn't have everyone available, but it's the first time they've really seen, and teams have really seen a little chink in the armour. And how much do you think that will help the Heroes, knowing that this is a beatable side?
Oh, 100%, yeah, they may have been weak, but they still had a good couple of players in there that could have made the chicken through to the final. But Health for Heroes, like Charlie, he's a student of the game. He would have watched that back and said, right, this is how we're going to do it, this is how we're going to play. So hopefully he would have told his players and said, right, this is what we're going to work on, and this is the kind of cheat code that we're going to go through. And hopefully Charlie's told his players, we're going to push them, that we're going to make them sweat, and we're going to push them towards the end of the final.
And obviously, as always in the Sitting community, as much as this is a final, a lot of love with the players and coaches. You can see them having a bit of a laugh there, and just talk about the growth of the community while we've got a minute, Justin, just how much it is going in the right direction.
I feel like the last few years we've got more and more players getting involved in sitting volleyball. There's a few of us started back in 2010, 2009 and still playing to this day. I always say when you get in the sitting volleyball community, you're always in that sitting volleyball community. There's players that are retired, but we still talk to them. And what we always say, you've got your brothers and your sisters when it comes to sitting volleyball community. You can always talk to them about something. We can all talk a good game. We can all talk fantastic. But it all comes down, as soon as you step over that white line, the love, the brotherness, the sisterness, all steps aside. And it's all comes down to winning that game at the end of the day.
Yeah. As the introductions on court 1 away to our right, just about finished, and now we'll get on to the referees here for our Sitting Grand Prix final. Our referee, Uzo Lee, one of our referees of the year. He will find out later this afternoon at the Volleyball England Awards, and the ever-experienced Herman Prada, both Justin really experienced dealing with the sitting game.
I think when it comes to both of these referees, you've got to be very strong-minded in sitting volleyball. You've got to make sure you see those tips that come off the top of the block. You've got to make sure if that ball lands on that line, you can see that. As a sitting volleyball player, you're relying on that referee to see the lifts, see the carries, and seeing everything else. Because if they don't see that, and it's at a vital point at a set, and you're 24, 23 down, and they don't see that tip off the top of the block, then unfortunately, they will lose that set.
Indeed, as Health for Heroes, the first team coming out there, starting 6 for this final. Number 9, John Worrell. Number 3, Daniel Kitcher. Number 5, Joachim Pierre. Number 11, Christopher Anslow. Number 2, Frank Avier. And number 10, obviously, player coach Charlie Walker. When you look at that squad, just quickly, who's the one to really watch out for in this Health for Heroes team that's an X factor?
I think you should look at the likes of the two setters. You've got the likes of Frank and Danny, who are kind of unique as well. They can set, but they can both hit at the same time. If they can get that ball into them, then they can work through the middles with Charlie Walker. And if you get that ball out to John Wall, yes, he's very clever at his game of play. He's not the biggest hitter, but he's very technically wise, good at positioning where he wants to hit.
And as for sitting boxes, they're coming out onto court. The head coach, Steve Smith, isn't in the starting lineup, but we may see him on the court. They are starting with number 14, Rob Richardson, number 10, last year's MVP, Kev Tan, number 8, Michael Knight, number 7, Colin Goodbrand, number 5, Paul Jeffrey, and number 3, John Monroe.
You look at the likes of John Monroe, I think he's the main factor in that squad. You got like Kev, technical wise, Kev's a fantastic server. You get him back on that line, he gets a run of serves, you got no chance of getting him in. But there's kind of a few players in there that are starters, but they're all technically good. That's what I mean, that's why they're the Man City of sitting volleyball. And hopefully they may take that 4th title, but Health for Heroes will push them all the way to the end.
Yeah, and delighted to have you with us on the live stream. As the referee is just about to get us underway. Let us know any thoughts. If you're new to sitting volleyball as well, let us know any questions in the chat. We will get to them throughout the course of the game. As the ball just going out, will we Help for Heroes to serve with John Worrell, who's ditched me in the commentary booth this year. Good excuse though, playing in the final. And he'll get us underway. And a big swing, but a little bit too long for John Monroe, and Help for Heroes win the opening point.
You look at John Monroe there, he's trying to work off the top of the block. And I think, no, the referee's giving it the other way. Like I said, you look at John, give him a few points to get into it, but he was trying to work at the top of the block from the smallest blocker there.
Quick attempt to go over on the second touch, but well, guard defense by Help for Heroes.
There we go. You look at there, Chris. Massive blocker there, using his height to an advantage. Oh, good start. John Morrow's looking for a weak spot.
Goes line, kick save. That is going to go out. A little bit crossed up, but nice adjustment by Michael Knight to even try and just keep the ball alive.
You can use any part of your body, trust me. You get it off your face, your leg, your arm, anything. If that ball comes up and it comes up, I don't care.
No, unfortunately, just missed off, but 3-0 start for Help for Heroes. As the cross-court push, a little bit out of system. And again, trying to look for John Monroe. This time gets another block touch, but can't quite recycle the ball. And Sitting Bucks able to get their first point of the final.
You look there, John Monroe, very clever, saw the gap, went for it.
As our volunteer, Walker's just getting used to the adjustment of finding the server, and first up for serve. And finds the line dead on. Perfect side out the first time of asking for Help for Heroes.
You see that as a setter every time, but you've got to be ready for that block for the second time from that setter. I've had that done a few times, I think everyone has, but it's very clever there by Help for Heroes.
And it'll be Daniel Kitcher back to serve, the lefty. Another deep serve into the court. Ball goes through the middle. Well played by the libero for Help for Heroes. As Michael Knight couldn't quite find the angle, trying to go down the line, just into the antenna. And Help for Heroes with an almost perfect start.
It's a great start for Help for Heroes here. Sitting Bucks are struggling a little bit here, but as reigning champions, they've come back from worse. Great pass.
Good block touch, but recycled, and the second time I'm asking, clean as you like for John Monroe in that middle position. His second kill.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've got a strong connection there, Roberts and John Monroe. They've been playing together for about 10, 15 years. So they've worked together for so long. They know each other, what they want to do and how they want to do it.
Backcourt attack, and just takes the little bit more roll. He's taking some pace off, and it dies in front of the back row defense.
Yeah, great.
Charlie Walker.
Great work there by Charlie. He saw the defense kind of push back towards, found the gap in position 6, and found the winner.
As the serve goes long.
That must be so frustrating as a coach and a player. You get back to the serving line, you've won the point, and unfortunately Jockham serves out. From experience, you serve that out, your coach won't be very happy.
As John Monroe, another great pass, goes cross-court, well dug up in the back row, but a little bit of an overpass will give Help for Heroes an advantage, and they try and go with a long tip from the middle, but can't quite connect.
You can see there Charlie coaching them and playing at the same time. A good coach from Charlie Walker there telling them, don't rush it. Just take your time, hold it in, we work from there.
The pass on point again. Can they create attacking into the block? Over.
They will just push far and it went out.
As Steve Smith just in there in.
That's a big thing you need to do as a coach, but you've got to concentrate on your rotation as well. But you get too involved in the game.
So serve Michael Knight, and that is the first ace of the game for Sitting Bucks. Trying to go into the receive of Joaquin Pierre.
Yeah, he's didn't get up quick enough, and unfortunately just fine. He went down.
He's going to have to reach for
Free ball.
Long set. Worrell goes underhand, big cross court.
Yeah, you got with those free balls, that comes over, you got to crush that ball because you've worked hard enough to get that free ball. Then you get that ball back over that net and smash it down, or even smash it in someone's face.
Third already, and that is going to be called a whistle.
Oh, the ref got goal there. I think he got a bit that one there. It's a very close game. What are we now? 8-6. This wanted. I think we want every Sitting volleyball final. You don't run a good run of serves here. I always said if you have a good, strong server, it will win you points and eventually win you games. Danny, great server here. Picking on the player. They've been told by the coaches to go for players. They're not so great at passing, and you can show.
As Worrell goes into.
He may not be the biggest hitter, but he's very clever when he hits. Against Catan.
As the serve finds the gap between 1 and 6 down the seam. Perfect serve again by Abba. That's his second ace, and all of a sudden, will help him. This ground, another strong serve overpass, and he'll try and reach off the block. But overpassing gets the touch, and Sitting Bucks not just quite in sync early on offensively.
No, they're struggling a little bit here. I think Steve boys in and to reset. Help. They have a great cohesion with each other. You can definitely tell with Sitting Bucks got a little wide defensive way, and then advantage of that, and he's having one of Charlie probably coached him. Coach, right, this is the way to serve. This is how we're going to serve. this is where they're going to put it, and you can definitely tell with their run of serves that they're winning points.
Well, it's interesting. On help is right now 5 kills to 4 sitting bucks. Can they execute a little bit of a longer set on the scramble? As another error.
This way you see Tan, he's got a fantastic topspin serve. So if he can get a good run of serves in here, then it'll push sitting bucks back to where they need to be.
The serve.
Great communication there.
Oh, I think the whole gym heard it.
Yeah, great communication there from the Heroes. They know that ball's going out. They're going to shout out. We heard it from up here.
So still a 5-point lead for Help for Heroes midway through set number 1.
I think with a 5-point gap though in sitting volleyball, it can go back really quick.
As Khan rescue over. Kev Tan was in position but tried to be a little bit too touchy with it.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can see it as a little bit to them. They're just not communicating well enough and they're losing scrappy points, and Steve won't be very happy with this. Steve Smith won't be happy that his work.
That is perfect though. There's the experience of Rob Richardson. First time he's really had an opportunity to swing hard and found the perfect gap.
I think it's a bit of a setting union there. Setter to setter. You set me, I'll find the point.
So just want the court dried up just a little bit.
Yeah, us sitting volpedos, we do get a little bit hot and sweaty when it comes on court. That's good to have that person there with a towel just to make sure it's dry and we're not slipping on court.
As into the block, not able to quite pull it up with Richardson at the net. His hands were there, but couldn't quite get there as Libero off for the front row rotation.
Yeah, as you can see, Rana's come off the Libero and he works back court. So as soon as it comes round to a rotation to position 4, they will come off and a big hitter will come back on.
And perfect side out for sitting bucks. John Wall had that serving run to start the game. Can't quite get it done that time.
Yeah, John Wall was a bit of a light serve there. He needed to find the gaps. He tried to find that gap at position 5 and they blocked it away and put it down.
As one thing you can't do as a libero is play the ball twice. Great attempt by Rana to keep it alive, but will be the ace for Paul Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's a bit of a communication error there from those two. You wouldn't expect it. They're both experienced players.
As Worrell wins the point. Not the cleanest of contacts for John Worrell, but gets the job done.
Yeah, it was a great hit there. He's got a fantastic reach. He used every inch of his arm there to hit that ball down.
As into the block, and it's going to be I think played twice in the back row, trying to keep it alive. And Colin Goodbrand, he's been quiet so far.
Yeah, he's kind of unique, Colin. He comes in and out of games, but he's been kept very quiet. I think most of the attackers have been kept very quiet because the serving coming from Help the Heroes. Sitting bucks cannot get that ball into the setter to work the attack.
Another ace. 4th ace of the opening set for Help for Heroes. That one coming from Kitcher. He'll go a little bit shallower this time, but into the block. Referee just took a minute to decide if it was touched or not.
Yeah, that was very close in my eyes. I thought that hit the net, but unfortunately I can't see as close to the referees, and they're giving the points to sitting bucks.
Net, hands, both, something.
Yeah, some form of arms have touched the ball.
The serve not quite killed off for the winner. That's the one big change you see in the sitting volleyball game. But this time, touch is called on the swing.
Yeah, you see the likes of Kev there trying to get that point back on his side. He fully well knew the game of dark arts is sitting volleyball. He fully well knew that hit his hand, but you had to give it a shout. You never know, they might give you the point, then they might not.
So, strong opening set for Help for Heroes. That's just 6 points away as Richardson and Tan struggling to find stability in the offense early on. Tan was really scrambling for that one. Overpass Well cupped alive and miscommunication on the back row. Jeffrey left it for what he was hoping was Tan, but Tan not there.
Yeah, the communication is not very good, doing very well at the moment. The boys, they're very quiet. They need to start talking. A great time out there by Steve. Like I said, I think he needs to kind of get the boys in and to say to them, we need to get back to the way we've been playing all season. And I think this is where Rob comes involved with his knowledge and experience, just to say to them, calm down, lads. Let's get back to how we used to play. So we're still in this game. It may be 2012, but a run of serves will get the guys back in this game, and it'll get Help for Heroes nervous because they've not been in this spot for a while. They've not been in the lead against Sitting Bucks in a while. So they might get nervous. This is where Help for Heroes, the likes of Charlie, the likes of Munners, not Munners, sorry, the likes of Worrell will help the guys push towards 25.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Sitting Bucks have taken the last 8 sets from the Help for Heroes team, with the Help for Heroes winning the first 3 of the matchups. But it's a very impressive first set for the team. Probably not favoured coming into this matchup.
No, 100%. But like I said at the start, you got 2 teams that have kind of just, it's a finals, but it's not where you got to. It's how you win this final. John Monroe there, top of the block. Charlie's got there.
Again, trying to push the ball deep, trying to make it difficult to play in system. And a roll shot right down to the defensive end. Overpass fight at the net. Both players doing really well to stay legal. That's another big dig on the defensive end. The Help for Heroes defense has been phenomenal, but as a libero, you're not getting to one into the front court gap.
Yeah, you got to be concentrating on every single point here. You can see they're all taking their time. As the hit wasn't there, they could roll shot back into the other players. They make them make the mistakes. But Charlie, unfortunately, got blocked there by Michael Knight. This is where John Monroe should come into it. If he can get a run of serves, this is when they should get worried. That's a great pass.
Into the block, but recycled effectively again. Trying to find the corner, but Sitting Bucks defense there, but again, the ball not quite tight offensively. You can see Steve Smith frustrated, and the kill down the middle of the court.
Yeah, they're working on that position, out in the position 4 where Charlie is, because they know that Charlie's one of the best hitters in the UK, along with John Monroe. So if they get the ball out to him, he can work on the top of the block and win them points. Communication again there, guys.
Nice high ball. Worrell will try and go over unexpectedly, forces the errands. You can see Steve Smith just looking at his team. But, so it was not Worrell, that was Anslow.
They've both got the same haircut.
From behind where we are next to the cameras. An ace for Anslow, the first touch by Jeffrey straight in the air, and no one willing to get to that second ball.
Yeah, they've all gone very quiet over there. I feel like they don't know what to do. I think that's where Steve Smith comes into his element now. He needs to take the boys back and show them, right, this is what we need to do. They've not started in this final.
No, and that brings up 11 set points for Help for Heroes.
Yeah, the run of serves. Serves is very key in sitting volleyball, and they're getting a run of serves, and Sitting Bucks cannot get that pass together. Great defense there by Jockham.
Goes down the line, little tip over to keep it alive, and this is one of the longer rallies we've had it in set number 1. Be big for Help for Heroes if they can win this, and they can. Big touch by Charlie Walker, and 25-13 is set number 1. We talked about potentially Monroe being able to swing some momentum in that timeout, but Help for Heroes come out of that second timeout with a 5-1 run to clinch it, and Justin Phillips, a perfect set pretty much for the Help for Heroes side. Yeah,
like I said at the start, if you can stop John Monroe, Kev Town and Robert Richardson, that's what they did. They had a great run of serves. Like I said, serving is key in the sitting volleyball, and they had a good rate run of serves. But Sitting Bucks, they just didn't get started. They didn't get their passing, and if you don't get your passing in sitting volleyball, then unfortunately, that setter cannot pass to the big boys to win you points.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. We're on the balcony here. We'll see if we can just listen in a little bit to some of the discussions for Sitting Bucks as they come to our end of the court. You can see Steve Smith there with his top off, so potentially that's one of the changes if Steve Smith decides to go, and you'd expect to see a lineup change, Justin, because in set number 1, it just nothing really got going at all.
No, he
for
didn't.
The team from the south.
No, he didn't, unfortunately. And I think the subs will work. I think it would just get the players back after the players have not been playing very well, and just give them a minute to kind of think and kind of debate what's going on. And you look like Steve Smith is a great coach, so he's got great players in there like Rob, John, and Kev, who will just be saying to guys, that set's gone now. That set is definitely that set's definitely gone. So hopefully they can wipe that out of their memory and go into the second set and say, right, this set is ours.
Yeah, again, I haven't quite recorded every point. I'm trying to do a little bit of statting while we're up here in the commentary booth. I think the interesting thing is the serve versus serve receive, and that's the area that's really dictate. Yes, Help Heroes have still won some points, but really their passing unit of Help Heroes has been really good, but they've also backed up with 6 aces in set number 1.
Yeah, their passing unit has been solid. Definitely 100%. All it is just a little bit of movement on court to get in front of that ball to pass it to the setter, and that's what they're doing. So, but unfortunately, from the sit and buck side, their serving has not been as strong. So, Help for Heroes have taken advantage of that, and that is why they've won that first set.
And we'll see as both teams coming on. Steve Smith indeed coming on. So, just trying to work out who's gone to the bench. It looks like Michael Knight has come out of the game. He's in the subs box away to our left.
Oh no, it is Michael. Yeah, it is Michael Knight. Yes, it is.
Knight with a couple of kills in set number 1. And we'll just see what the second substitution is. It looks like number 9 potentially is in the back row, Daniel Bingley. And Daniel, just talking to me, back super quickly after having his amputation just a few months ago, and great to see him get an opportunity in the final.
Yeah, 100%. I spoke to him earlier. He said he's still hurting a little bit, but the thing is, he loves sitting volleyball. I think anyone would, and I think he's come back a bit too quick. But that's my opinion. I feel like he can. He's got such a big reach. Hopefully that they can use it in this next set.
As violation call, they're going to call Smith for a lift.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't keep his bottom on the ground. And they're very lenient on that one, unfortunately. I get called a couple of times, I think we all do. And yeah, unfortunately, Steve Smith got caught there.
Obviously trying to extend way over the block, and that one just flipping the top of the net corner. I think that just caused the little back row issues. Again, it's so hard to kind of adjust with those little net touches and just flipping the height of the ball.
Yeah, it's so frustrating when that happens, but you've got to be concentrated to realise if that ball does happen. But yeah, it's very frustrating as a player and a coach.
As not the great pass, but again, Help for Heroes finding ways to get the ball over and alive, making Sitting Bucks work for everything. That one splitting the block, double touch, couldn't quite close on it.
Yeah, like us keep on saying, they will fight for every point. They will scrap for every point, and you can definitely see in every time they get that point, they do not want that ball to touch the ground.
They have to turn defense into offense much better. Big cross ball way over the baseline by Rana, but big swing lined up, and we've not really seen John Monroe be able to really attack many balls.
Yeah, he hasn't. That's it. They went to Kev Tan. Kev Tan, he may not be the biggest person, but my God, does he have a big hit.
As again, Charlie Walker's had a really effective game for Help for Heroes.
Yeah, John Monroe and Kev tried to get over there, but unfortunately didn't squeeze the block quick enough, and Charlie took advantage and found the gap. He's very clever at what he does. He understands the game fantastically. He's been going the same route as me, but he's a fantastic player.
Joust at the net, ball coming back over. Another great pickup on the defensive end. This Help for Heroes team gonna get called for 4 touches off the block.
Yeah, sometimes
recycle. Great pickup by the referee there.
Yeah, sometimes you forget there's only 3 touches. Don't worry, his teammates would have told him.
As As ball pushed into the backcourt. And a lovely little change of angle last minute by Daniel Bingley. Looked like he was going to go middle and turned it into cross court and was able to beat Rana.
Yeah, that middle position is such a strong position, and it's a fantastic first there by John Monroe. I think the boys are getting into it now. You see Robert Richardson celebrating with Steve Smith. They're definitely getting into this final.
Yeah, and it's a 3-point lead as that was a self-touch on the serve by Bingley. I think he was expecting maybe a block to come up on it.
Yeah,
trying to get his hands ready, but instead deflected the ball out of court.
Yeah, in sitting volleyball, you can block the serve. So Bingley was waiting for that ball to get blocked, so he can block it back over to the other side. It's called counter blocking. If you can counter block a black counter block, then you can win points.
But to counter block, you need a block, and you can't touch the serve that was going to be a really difficult serve to handle over, and you could immediately see it as big topspin serve touched over the net. And again, you can see both teams trying to really work that cross-court angle as Bingley splits the block, wanted the touch, and
he's been given the touch.
Is given as he split Worrell and Walker.
Yeah, I think Sitting Bucks are getting into it now. You can definitely tell the communications there. They're getting that sets in, they're getting the big hits, and this is what they want.
There's not a great ball toss by Kev Tan. He had to kind of shuffle backwards to put his left arm through that, and he misses the baseline. You can see just a little shake of the head in frustration.
Yeah, I think Kev realises it. He stood up and he realised it. That ball throw wasn't the greatest, and he's come back and it's kind of bitten him here.
As Tan able to get to that one.
Oh!
And Monroe goes nearly off the normal court, never mind the sitting court.
Yeah, you can
get the top spin on that one.
You can tell John Monroe went for that. That's gone up, and off and away. Oh, that might have scared him a little bit there. He's gone for free ball in this one.
And into the block. Well played yet again by Pierre. We've seen it a couple of times, really just try and use the hands.
Yeah, it's a big thing in sitting volleyball. If those hands are up there, those hands will be ready to use. You can definitely tell that 3 or 4 points that has happened on Help for Heroes. They've worked on the top of the block.
Attempt to go down the line by Richardson. As the ball over, so kind of a free ball, tight to net, little great touch off the net. And Worrell able to scoop it kind of into the face of Kev Tan off the touch. But again, Help for Heroes winning points by their defense.
Yeah, you could Sitting Bucks are trying to call for a carry there. It was a bit 50-50, but John Worrell got that tip over and he's won the point for Help for Heroes. As
going to be tight. Great pickup, but that ball off the antenna. Maybe a little case for 4 touches, but no one really appealed for it.
No, it's very strange. But I think it's volleyball. You've got to find the gaps, find the areas that are free, and that's what Help for Heroes are doing. And they've come back. Oh, great block there by Bingley. He's working that big hit of it, big arms of his. They've got some big players on court there. Bingley's just used every single inches of his arms to block the ball.
As the back line clips on it, you can see the frustration.
Yeah, the frustration there. Charlie, I'll play next to Charlie. And if you're not communicating with Charlie, that ball drops, he's not a very happy man.
As that one ace backs into an error. But you can see the communication from Sitting Bucks starting to come through, and I think the frustration will be they've played a lot better. They're not in the lead as both teams into double digits as was. Let's just say we'll want that one back.
Yeah, he will be putting that in the notebook later. Yeah, that serve wasn't very good, and he's a bit frustrated at the moment. He's got a bit of an injury going on with his elbow, so hopefully that elbow's all right.
Nice little back set and huge change. You can see the encouragement but for Daniel Kitcher, it looked like he was going to set it and went for the little flick of the wrist to find the kill instead.
Yeah, I think he was a bit worried about leaning on his new stump of his. He would have usually got that, I think, but yeah, it was a great second time there.
As another block touch scrambling, Richardson does really well to make that ball go over on the set, fully in system now, and Monroe solo block and a shake, stare down and shimmy.
Oh, Jocham was very happy with that block there. He's talking against John Monroe there, saying, I've got you in my pocket, but I don't think he has.
We'll see how that storyline develops as Richardson finds the kill from the setting position.
Yeah, the experience there hit there. He knew there was a bit of a gap, so he went second time and found that spot.
As we go back and forth in a very tight set number 2, as the kill on the block, on the serve again. Pierre lining it up perfectly.
Yeah, I think Jay's a bit pumped up over there. You can see how strong his block is. Let's hopefully he can calm down a little bit and the serve can go in.
As high ball looking for the touch, referee giving it again. Them trying to get John Monroe trying to say I didn't get a hand on it, but I think when looked over the referee, saw it, there was no second protest, which normally gives away the sign.
Yeah, like I say, you try and fight for every point you get, and unfortunately they didn't win that one today.
As Pierre finds the ace, and all of a sudden we talked about tight set. All of a sudden 3 in a row for help for heroes, and Steve Smith on court going to be thinking about using a timeout if they can't find a side out here, and they do, as Charlie Walker tried to get to what really was an overpass.
Yeah, it was a bit of an overpass. Charlie tried to slam that down, but unfortunately it's gone out. This is the important part of the set. It's been 15 onwards, so you need to stop. What have we got here? Oh, we've gone for a let. Oh, there you can see the boys aren't very happy there, but unfortunately it's down to the referee.
And it's a really tough angle to pick up, as the ball basically just was held up by Angelo in between his arms but wasn't his hands, so not a lot you can really do about that one.
No, exactly. It's kind of an area when it comes to sitting volleyball. When it comes to it, is it their point? Is it our point? But unfortunately, it's come down to a let. They have to agree with it. I can say that sitting up here on the balcony, but if I was on court, I'd be discussing that with the referee as well.
You see more trap balls in the sitting game. It is a part of the game. What is another part of the game is Charlie Walker continuing to find success.
Yeah, he's definitely working his magic here, Charlie. From experience, he's using every part of the court to win them points.
So Anslow on the service line, another touch, and Pierre decides to play it twice because I think he realised Anslow was never going to get there, but they both went for that same first ball, which was the crux of the downfall. But again, Sitting Bucks starting to find those seams of the defence just a little bit more.
Yeah, they're finding the gaps. They're getting that ball to John Monroe, and he's spiking that ball and winning them points. There you can see Ryland taking advantage of that backcourt. Oh, big strong muscle there from Kev Tan. Bingley using all his arms. He's all arms, no legs.
And all of a sudden we're tied back up at 16. So that 3-point lead has disappeared.
That's what I've always said. You get a run at. Oh, that's a great touch there by Danny. He's found that gap and the boys couldn't get it. Like I said at the start, if you get a run of serves, 3 or 4 points to sit in volleyball is not enough, because you could be back level like Sitting Bucks will be and Help for Heroes.
As a touch on it on the servers, Bingley went for that initial block, but off the top of the fingertips, out of court. No way his teammates were getting to that one.
No, it was great work, great set there, serving by Danny there, and
another overpass, but run at the net by Kev Tan. Quick reactions for the kill.
Yeah, this is where Kev thinks to himself, I should get a good run of serves here. Hopefully he can get his throw right so he can get a good feed in and a good set. Oh.
As referees having a discussion about something. Rana still has the ball in the libero position. But nonetheless, Kev Tan on the service line finds the ace.
Yeah, Kev's changed up his serve there. He's just found
Ace in set number 2. Obviously, Help for Heroes winning set 1 in convincing fashion.
Yeah, you look at Help for Heroes and Sitting Bucks. This is a closer set now. It's definitely, this is what we wanted. We wanted a close game of sitting volleyball. And then this may be where Sitting Bucks take advantage of being the finalists for the last couple of years. This is the most important part of the set, from 18 onwards up to 25. But you don't know, so that runner serves. Can Kev get that runner serves? Can Help for Heroes get that pass in and get the set and get the big spike down so they can push towards 25?
I think the important thing is really if you decide out here, it's the biggest serving rotation for Sitting Bucks have gone through. So you're now coming to the service that you feel a little bit more confident probably as a receive unit.
Yeah.
Once you get Tan off the service line.
Yeah, 100%. You got Kev. He's a very strong server, but like I said, when you get to Bingley and get to the rest of the guys, then you know you've got a bit of confidence to get the ball in. So if they can side out from here and win points, then they can work towards 25.
As Walker off the block, well touched by Tan, but Richardson can't scramble to get there.
Yeah. Robert Richardson and Kev Tan are fantastic at defence, but Rob just couldn't reach his arm there to get the ball back. Charlie Walker with a serve here. Unfortunately, that ball went out. Rob knew it, but he just left it just in case it had the chance of going out. Not a great serve here to hit the ball out.
As the serve finds the gap, Worrell leaves it, and no one was getting there. Charlie Walker definitely not in position, being a little bit more central.
Yeah, he's not very happy with that. John Worrell has to do his first job, and that is block.
Good. Into the one-on-one block. Jeffrey thought he'd got it lined up perfectly at the net, but couldn't quite do it. And Pierre, who's had a really strong set, in the front court for Help for Heroes, gets them to 20 points apiece. Race effectively to 5 as Worrell misses the serve.
Yeah, was not doing so great on his serves, unfortunately, at the moment. This is not the greatest time to serve out, because this is the important part of the set. So hopefully Help for Heroes can get that ball back and 21 all.
Into the block. And that's the battle. We said it would come back, and Munro wins that one.
Yeah, I think they're both into it now. I think Jockum's just having a joke with him there. Munro is focused and ready to win this set back for Sitting Bucks.
Jeffrey on the serve. Great defensive dig. Trying to again push deep, but fully in system for Sitting Bucks. Have really dominated the last couple of rallies, but can they find the winner?
Great defense.
Is out. Great leave by Rana. That was tight on the baseline.
Oh, he had the confidence there, Netra Rana, to leave that ball. And he had a great idea, and it, thank God, went out.
It's one of those, your heart's in your mouth. There's a moment you try and leave it. And
great set there by Rob.
the dig can't quite be made by Walker. Big swing again for Munro. He's really come alive in set number 2.
Yeah, there's a classic duo there.
Help here is going to talk it over. 23-21 the lead for Sitting Bucks as they try and tie us up in the final.
Yeah, it's classic duo there. Rob Richardson and John Monroe. You get the ball to Rob. Ron knows Monroe, and he hits that ball on the ground and in court. I think this is a close one now. What we 23-21. This is a good time out now for Charlie when he speaks to the guys. This is where the confidence says, right, let's just calm down, get the ball in, and work from there.
So I think it's going to be Rob Richardson to serve. So what do you think he's going to look to do? Is it a ball in play, or is it a time where he can go for a little bit of bigger serve and really try and put the pressure on the passing unit?
If I know Rob, he's got confidence. He will go straight. I think he'll go to position 5 and push it down. I feel like he's got the technique to not just dawdle the ball over. I feel like he's going to hit the ball down straight in front of him, down line in position 5 to kind of make sure the ball doesn't go to a setter.
We'll see, does he go line? Indeed he does, forces the scramble, but great second touch by Rana, and not quite a free ball, but Singbucks would have thought they had the advantage, but have lost it. But the big block, and that brings up set point. John Monroe's got his hands all over the end of this second set.
Yeah, that was a great hit there. Ball's gone down, good block as well. I think it's fair. Rob loves it. He loves to be the main man when it comes to serving. So I'm not sure, will he go line, will he go cross?
Go back for the same result. Bit of a better pass. So that's a scramble, but it's just a huge win at the net. It looked for all the world that Angelo was going to struggle there going against the double block, but finds.
Yeah, I think Chris worked that really well. He used all his big boy weight and put the ball behind. He's got the ball.
So 1 set point save. Pierre's got a job to do. Can he save the other 2? Perfect pass. Cross tough angle. It's going to be a free ball for Sitting Bucks.
Here we go, middle, let's go middle. Oh!
The block. John Monroe was in a perfect position, but Charlie Walker got across.
Yeah, that was fantastic there by Charlie. He read what Rob Richardson was going to do there, and he cut the angle and he blocked that one just down to the ground.
So 2 set point save. Can they force a extra points?
Oh.
It's going to be tight over. There's a net touch, I believe, but who touched the net? It was Frank Other at the net, and that's a rough way to lose set number 2. Help for Heroes, 25-23, and we are tied 1 set apiece after Sitting Bucks find a way to claw out a big set. They did not want to go into this final 2 sets to none down.
Yeah, they used all their experience there just to nab the set to make it 25-23. I definitely think they worked better in this set. You could definitely tell they're working with the partnership partners they needed, the likes of Kev using this serving, the likes of Rob and Munners, and Steve coaching them while being on court. I think that's a big thing as well. Having your coach on court with you and just saying to you, right, calm down, we work from this. And they've taken that second set and we're on to a third. Like I said to a lot of people this morning, I feel like this will go 5 sets. Now it's about concentration and working around these players and taking the next set and then pushing towards the end.
And just from a player's mentality, just talk about the difference of 3 versus 5. Because obviously all year long, obviously, you know, so many of these people have international experience, so our use of 5 is not a complete novelty.
No.
But when you don't play it for a while, it does change your mindset a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. You've always got to be focused towards the end. I played a 5-setter that's lasted nearly 3-4 hours, so it's kind of working towards that. But 3 sets, it's fantastic. If you can win a game in 3 sets, you're back in the showers within an hour and a half, 2 hours. But in sitting volleyball, a 5-setter could go maybe 2, 3, 4 hours. So hopefully we're looking for a good game here. But like I say, it's about just having the concentration and focus to carry on every single point. Because sometimes you kind of zone out of every single point. I've done it before. I've zoned out of points and you lose points. So hopefully these boys and girls will focus towards the end.
Yeah, and obviously it's a bit of an extended time out here for both teams, just to talk through some things. What do you think coaching might make if you decide?
Come down with Health for Heroes, you look likes of Jockham. I'll probably move Jockham out to kind of position 4 because he's been hitting really well at the moment. So I'll definitely work with that. I'll bring on the Sitting Bucks side. I'll work on Bingley. Bring Bingley on court, move him front court because he's got such a big reach, and they couldn't handle him. So I definitely think having the big boys in front court will definitely help each team win points and go down that route. But it's all about, I feel like it's all about finding the gaps and making a move. So hopefully the boys for Help the Heroes can find the gaps against the likes of Rob Richardson and Kevin Tan, because the boys aren't at the front court. It looks like of Colin and Kev, they're not the biggest blocks, so if they can work around them, then they can win points.
So Goodbrand, who didn't play in set number 2, will replace coach Steve Smith. Other 11 players look like, from our vantage points, they're unchanged. And it will be Worrell to get us underway in set number 3, and he'll start with another service error.
Yeah, not great here by Walter. That's 3 in a row now. He's going to be thinking about it and frustrated. So hopefully the next one he can get in and get that serve in.
And it always is worse as a middle as well, right? Where you are with a libero, where you're now going to the bench to think about it even more.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating. I've had it a few times myself. You get that serve in. Oh, great defence there.
Yeah, big pickup on the back row by Bingley.
Big call there by Kev. Great hit.
Yeah, he wanted the ball in that back row, but able to roll over the top was Anslow.
If you can be clever in your hit and then you can find the gaps, you're winning points.
You're going to hear Kev Tan shouting instructions made. He couldn't quite work out over the applause that came from court one what he was saying, but clearly quite animated there as that ball into the block. And a big swing by Monroe, beats the block, and Pierre got him once, but Monroe's got that experience. Not going to let it happen multiple times.
Yeah, I think Jockham there, he left too much line. He left his player in position 1 wide open. I wouldn't be very happy if I was in position 1 there.
So Richardson able to put some pressure on, and the miscue from the back row by Charlie Walker.
Yeah, I think the passing wasn't great enough for the setter to set it out to the big boys at 2 and 4, so they went to position 6, which is pipe.
Another big serve by Richardson. As the ball into the net, Bingley trying to save it.
Was that a point there by the libero? I think the libero got a point there, found the gap and pushed it towards where Bingley was. If I was on the Help for Heroes side, I would go for unfortunately, I'll go for the weak spot, which is Bingley. Bingley's a bit rusty at the moment, so I'd work on that.
As another net touch called. Steve Smith staring down our second referee, Herman Prada, at the net, but he got the call, and I think he puts his hand on his chest and apologises.
Yeah, I think his refereeing mindset went there a little bit. You could definitely tell he knows the game really well, because being a sitting volleyball ref and a standing ref as well, he knew what he was talking about, but unfortunately, he's not the ref today.
As able to split the block again, and Charlie Walker's done a really good job of not with the Justin, but instead focusing on that placement.
Yeah, he's taking a little bit of power off. He's working on the side of their hands. If you can get hit the block on the side, the ball's going down on their side.
As that just grazes the top of Avia's hand.
Yeah, you look at that there. There's massive mismatch there between Bingley and I think that's Danny, and definitely mismatch there. So he's worked off the top of the fingertips that he has over the net.
Indeed, it was. As middle attack, we haven't seen Help for Heroes really try and find the middle as much, but that time again, going to really, what is the hot hand, Charlie Walker? He's having a standout game in this final.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic here. You can definitely tell he wants to win this model. He wants to win the final for Help for Heroes as a coach and a player. So you can definitely tell, oh, there we go. That's what I was talking about, the counter blocking. If you're ready for that counter block and they're blocking on the other side, you're ready. That ball's going down on that other side.
Not quite sure which of Worrell or Walker got the touch, but it doesn't matter. And Frank Ava backs it up with the ace. And all of a sudden, Help for Heroes leads 6-5 in set number 3. 1 set all in this sitting Grand Prix final here at Cup Final Weekend 2025.
By Rory, he's trying to find the gap.
As that ball just misses the baseline. I think they also called Bingley for a lift as well, so double error.
Yeah, I don't know why Bingley's lifting, because he's a big guy. I wouldn't be lifting at his weight. Oh.
As our misses the baseline. Over on court number 1 in the under 16 girls final. Leeds Gorse have a 2-0 lead over Mallory Eagles. Can join Jess Smith and Tara King on the call for that one. As touched by Rana, but there's no way for a second touch.
Yeah, this is where Kev Town should be doing his top spin serves and getting a run of serves in here.
Couple of aces on the day for Tan. Not quite a third, but it's a free ball for the Sitting Bucks. Can they convert? Block touch, well defended again, coming off the net in position 4, but can't quite execute, and the error's just starting to creep in for his Help for Heroes side.
Yeah, you can definitely jock him there. He should just took it off a little bit.
And gonna call a net touch on Bingley.
Yeah, that's so frustrating as a blocker. You're there, you're in position, and unfortunately you just reach out a bit too much and touch that net, and that referee will spot that. Good.
As Richardson, that ball may have been drifting wide, but he didn't want to risk it. And Pierre into the block. Big swing by Pierre, that time going power, and not a lot Bingley could do about it. Just stuck his arms out in hope. Unfortunately, too much height, too much power for Joaquin Pierre.
Yeah, I think Jocker's bringing his big boy arms today. He's working the magic, working with those hands off the boys. Good pass there by Netarana.
As Bingley has to roll over the block, kick save into a lift. I haven't seen a kick save attempt since, well, I think it was at point number 1 we had the kick save attempt on the serve.
Yeah, I think it was the first point, yeah. Like I said, any part of that body, if you can get any part of that body, it touches you and that ball goes up, we'd be happy with that.
Another deep serve. We've seen Sitting Bucks trying to be a little bit more towards that depth and trying to get out of set as Pierre goes to set the ball, but the ball splits the hands.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a batter on his hands, and unfortunately that's gone through his hands. He's not very happy yet, but he's got a bit of a laugh on him, so he'd be happy. He'd be thinking about that next point. Right, if that ball comes to me now, I'm going to take advantage of it and show that I'm actually one of the good players here. Bit of a dolly serve there. Hopefully they can work with it.
As Pierre again, another error, looks to the sky in frustration.
Yeah, you can see Steve Smith. He's just making sure the referees know what was happening there. He's calling for the lift, and he's got that lift.
As that over the serve line for Bingley ends that service run, but an important run, has his side in the lead, 11 to 10.
Yeah, you could definitely tell there's a bit of a ring rush from Bingley there, but oh.
As Worrell, I think at this point, I think might be worth considering a serving sub.
Yeah, I think it's all in his head now. I think he's thinking about it a bit too much. You can see him talking to C on the bench. He's getting a bit frustrated with himself. But I think there's people there who just tell him, just take your time, mate. Just have a little think. He's a bit of an overthinker. I think like most of us is when it comes to playing a sport. So I think he just needs a few minutes to take himself out of it. I just want to go down there and just tell him, take your time, just relax, give it a minute.
As again, Kev Town belting out instructions. Well, the bottom of the net definitely got caught, but...
Oh, the guys are talking to the referees. They need to know what's going on. What was that call for?
Well, what they called was a kill.
Oh, is it a kill, was it? Oh, okay. I thought there was a bit of a net touch going on, but unfortunately I'm not...
absolutely no whistle.
Yeah.
So...
Bit of confusion up here between us two.
I say, just looking at back on the replay, the advantage of having YouTube. Yeah, there was never any call made. So it goes down as a Colin Goodbrand kill.
Yeah, I think you got to play to the whistle. We've always been told play to the whistle, but I think the lads thought they heard a whistle from somewhere in this loud crowd, and then the guys stopped and the ball went down.
Indeed, as we get the antenna fixed, Steve Smith having a chance to talk it over with Rob Richardson. A really good job of the referees, just making sure everything's fixed and tidied and fair for both teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely, this is when it's the right time. It's a bit like having a water break in a game of football. This is when every guy has a chat with each other. This is when the tactics and stats, and say to them, right, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to play, because this is an important part of the set. Like I said, an important part of the set. Can they get that run of serves to push them towards 20, which will hopefully win their set?
Yeah, and obviously just reattaching the, what we call them, guide ropes, effectively, on the bottom of the net.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just making sure it's in the right position and the right height, because if it's a bit too loose, then that ball can't bounce back off it. And the other team won't have an advantage. The other team might have an advantage and work with that net. It's got to be strong enough for that ball to bounce off, so they got a chance to get that ball back over.
And you sitting volleyball players love to hit the net and test it.
Yeah, of course, that's how we work. We've got to work with the net. If you could just tip that net and that ball goes in, I'm happy with that.
So, pretty much exactly midway through set number 3.
Yeah.
We are 1 set all, 13-11 for Sitting Bucks. And it's interesting that there's a lot more of a conversation happening on the Bucks side than there is. Help Heroes are kind of talking, but there's a long, big huddle with most of the Sitting Bucks team, minus, who is that?
That's Bingley.
That's Bingley, who maybe thinking about a couple of things.
I think it's like I said, that the boys are just getting in, having a little conversation with each other, just saying, right, this is how it needs to work. It's where the experience of Rob Richardson comes in, as a leader, as a captain. Every single one of them is listening to him, because he knows how to play against the likes of Charlie and the rest of the other guys. I think with Help the Heroes, Charlie would have coached them at the weekend training camps, so they would have understood and understand how they need to play. So he won't need to say anything to them, because he would have drilled it into their minds and into their bodies how to play sitting volleyball.
Indeed, as our great team here, just trying to make sure everything is in place. Steve Smith over to the scorers table, having a chat with our scorers.
Yeah, he knows everyone around sitting volleyball, because he's been around it for a while. I think here we go, we're ready to go.
Now we're going to check the other one. Good spot by our line judge there in the back, just realising the antenna on the other side of the net now wasn't straight.
We're just giving each other a few minutes, we should be ready to go.
And after a few minutes, we are back ready to get underway. And 1 set all, 13-11, Sitting Bucks lead in this Grand Prix final. Sitting Bucks trying to make it a 4th championship in a row. And they'll win the point after the break as Ava tries to go line, but misses on the angle.
This is when the experience comes in of being national champions. They know how to win a game of sitting volleyball.
As little tip over the ball, ending up in the lap of Goodbrand. Lift, double touch, multiple touches. Take your pick, Justin.
Yeah, I think
probably been in that position. It's a little bit of a helpless feeling.
Yeah, I think it was one of them touches. He tried to tip it over, it hit the net, and it landed, unfortunately, in his lap.
As Pierre tries to go little top spin float, instead floats it under the net.
Yeah, that's not very good from Jochum there. He uses his big, strong arms. He should be hitting that ball as hard as he can to serve it over the net. He's got the guns for it. I don't know why he's not using it.
As one at the net by John Monroe, and he is really starting to dominate this final when he's in the front court especially. And timeout going to be called for Help for Heroes as that lead is suddenly 4.
Yeah, you look it's different from the other set. You look at Help for Heroes when they were pushing them with serving. And now it's the opposite way round. Sitting Bucks are getting back to the service line. They're pressurising them. They're pressurising, so Help for Heroes cannot get that pass in to work their attacks. And it's a tip for tap. So if you like I said, serving and sitting volleyball is a massive thing. I'm not sure about standing volleyball because I've never played it myself. But when it comes to sitting, serving pressure is a big thing in sitting volleyball.
volleyball is volleyball, same rules apply, and that was what we were talking about at the end of set one. You remember, we were talking about the fact that Help for Heroes had 5-6 aces in set number one. And now that pressure indeed has flipped around, and the good news is that is something that is fixable.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I said, this one here, like if Colin now hits the serves out, then it's back to Help for Heroes. So they can do a good serve.
As cross court, big point this for Help for Heroes. Need to try and get this service run over. Big pickup by Pierre on the cross court. That was a huge dig.
Great up there by Netarana.
Bingley into the block. A long rally won by the Bucks.
Yeah, you can see the style of play there. The defense by Help for Heroes, but the strong attacking play there by Sitting Bucks. That ball come back, they'll set it back, and the big boys will hit that ball.
So good brand. Pierre puts it over. Bingley tries to go for the one-touch kill. Doesn't come off for him, as Monroe has to just tip that over.
Oh, he's reached out for the ball there.
3-ball for Help for Heroes. But again, the set not quite there. Pulls Walker off the net. And Sitting Bucks capitalise on that opportunity, and they are starting to pull away in set number 3.
Yeah, you look at their front court, they got a good setter there in Kevin Tan, and they got two big boys in John Monroe and Dan Bingley, so they're taking advantage of this. So if Colin can keep this run of serves going, they will push it towards the end. Mistake there by Chris there. I think the boys are going a bit quiet here for Help for Heroes. And I think Sitting Bucks are taking advantage of it. Like I said, the front row is such a big front row. So if they keep this, they'll definitely push them towards the end.
Reminder, this was a 12-11 game. Or 12-11 set. As finally, second time we're asking, Walker gets the kill. Puts him into double figures, at least.
Yeah, this is where John Monroe should be coming on, think to himself, right, forget about that serving, a couple of serving errors, work the strong, what you've got in front court, and that is just hitting.
I think the call was they expected that to go line. It went down the middle, and there's Monroe on this perfect side out.
Yeah, Monroe's he's on the wheel now, he's hitting everything, he's working on the top of the blocks, he's finding the gaps, and you can definitely tell Monroe is the best player on court at the moment.
He goes down the middle again. Pierre can't quite handle it. And it ever feels like when Pierre shimmied in Monroe's face after the solo block, that kind of woke Monroe up, and he's really dominated this second set into third, as the block attempt by Aviat can't quite get it to go, and all of a sudden this is going exactly the same way as set number 1, but in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I think Sitting Bucks are taking advantage of a few errors that Help for Heroes are doing now. There we go. Oh, Jochum tried to find the gap there by Monroe. He wasn't concentrating.
Richardson only puts the ball vertical and can't get out of the way. Such an agonising moment that when the ball just goes vertically up in the air and you realise the ball's going back and you're just going to be in the way no matter what.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating because you stretch to get that ball and no one's around.
3-ball for Help for Heroes. Going to set it up, and Walker can't put a swing on it.
Oh, bit of a fancy shot there by Kev Tan.
And the overset as rare miscommunication from for Sitting Bucks in this third set. Jeffrey was thinking the ball was coming a little bit more central. The ball drifted over his head on the set. As overpassed, in fact, by Richardson, killed off by Worrell.
Yeah, that'll be good for Worrell's confidence there. If he can get that block in, that confidence hopefully will push on for him to get a few points in this game.
As that in out was the call. Brief double thought by the line judge, but went with what his gut was. And that ball just missed the baseline.
Yeah, you can see Steve Smith looking at him very accurately there to see if he was calling it in and out, but luckily Sitting Bucks got the point.
As I thought for a minute that was touched by his own player, but it was indeed Walker at the net, and Help for Heroes can't recycle. Kev Tan and the Sitting Bucks will have 8 set points.
The big question is Kev Tan going to go for a massive topspin serve, or will he just have a little dolly serve over the net?
Go big or go home, right? You've got 8 of them.
Exactly.
Not like it's only one. Massive high ball toss into the block. Richardson, one-handed stab set, and that's enough for the set. Bingley with the kill. And Six take the lead in this best of 5.
Yeah.
16-25, they take it, and for Help for Heroes, what can you now do to regain some momentum in this final?
Yeah, you can tell their heads are down a little bit. You can see they're walking around back to where they need to go. They're all a bit quiet. But like I said in every set, wipe that set away. The next set isn't that you haven't lost the game. You're just 2 sets to 1 down. And if you can work around that and go into the next set as a fresh mindset, and Charlie Walker will say that to them. That set's gone now, lads. Let's just work on to the next set. And this is where Sitting Bucks will just say, right, same again. Same again for the next set. And then hopefully, I want a 5-setter. So if it's Help for Heroes can work their magic and get it back to 2-2, we're going into a 5-set thriller.
Indeed, and obviously remind if we do get to 5, we're first to 15, not 25. As a couple of the Sitting Bucks players looking up here to the commentary position. And you think the important bit, Justin, for now is, do you think anything psychologically has flipped where Help for Heroes probably came in as the underdogs, win set 1, and maybe played just a little bit tight, and suddenly they realised, okay, now come back, and now they can go loose again. Like, you've got nothing to lose 2 sets to 1 down.
Yeah, 100%. They went into that first set and they said, right, let's just go with it. And and I think it surprised Sitting Bucks a little bit. I think that's where they didn't realise how strong their serving was. And I think obviously when he went into the second set, I think that's when they kind of sat down together and they said, right, this is how we need to work it. Because I think they realised Help for Heroes are not pushovers. And Sitting Bucks thought they were the favourites. They can just go into this game and as favourites and just go half a job Harry, 50%, 60%. But in set of volleyball, you have to go 100% every set. Otherwise, you're losing the game and losing sets.
Indeed, as both teams' lineups going into the scorers table ahead of set number 4.
Yeah, if you look at the 2 different benches now, you look at Help for Heroes. They're concentrating. They're looking to the likes of Charlie to say to him, how are we going to win this set? How are we going to push them? And they look at Steve Smith. He's just right to the point. He tells them what they need to do, how they want to play, and that's what they'll do going into the set.
As it looks like Leeds Gorse are going to close out the under-16 girls final over court number 1. They've got 9-point leads, leading 2 sets to nothing in set 3 as they look to go back-to-back, having won the under-15 girls title last year, the first time they'd ever won one as a junior team. As our players are on court here, on court number 2. Sitting Bucks going with Michael Knight back into the game, having sat out of sets 2 and 3.
I think that's when Help the Heroes will say, right, we know who to go for. He's a little bit cold. He's not as hot as the rest of the team, so they'll try and push towards where he is. Oh, it's not a good pass there by Bingley. Great up there by Kev.
As they're going to call a lift on the middle, Pierre.
Yeah, he's not
stretch out on the block.
He's not very happy with that. You can tell from the way he's looking at him.
And again, Help for Heroes wanting a call, but not getting it. Pierre thinking there was something illegal in it, but referee's happy enough.
Yeah, I think he's trying to say about the lifting on the sitting back side, but I don't think they were lifting on that side.
As Kitcher tries to get cute, doesn't pull off, and all of a sudden his momentum is rolling for the Bucks.
Yeah, he tried to look cute there, but unfortunately it looked a little bit ugly. Yeah, that's the difference there from sitting volleyball to standing volleyball. You can block the serve, and that's where Jokum took advantage of a dolly serve there and blocked them back in, and they're back in the game here.
As the hit goes long, Monroe looks to the sky, and Pierre and Monroe having a little conversation.
Yeah, this one's definitely going right to the end here. They're face to face, having a good old chat. Communication there by Charlie, making sure everyone knows who he is.
Fight at the net, one by Abba, and all of a sudden 3-0 goes to 3-3, and that's how quickly these games can flip, Justin.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, a runner serves, you can be 3-4-0 down, and within 3 or 4 sets, you'll be right back in it. And this is what Help for Heroes are doing, so they can push it towards the end. And that's a fantastic block there by Jokum. John is, clever there by Rob Richardson against the big man. You can see the happiness on his face there.
As the court just going to get dried up.
Good pass there by Charlie.
I think we'll put that down to miscommunication, as Anslow and Ara get a little bit too close to each other, both wanting to hit the same ball. In fact, none of them hit.
Yeah, you can definitely tell there's a bit of tension in the Help for Heroes team. They need to all keep their heads a little bit here. You can see Charlie communicate and just tell them, you know what we are doing. You need to do what we're doing. Oh, Steve with a hand on his head. Can they get there?
Nope. That ball way off the baseline.
Yeah, you can see the difference of when Sitting Bucks are winning. They're all smiling, they're all happy. There's not a sad face in sight. So there's hopefully Rob can get a good run of serves here.
Indeed, Richardson. Oh, there's the block by Pierre on it. And we keep having this little run, Justin. 3 points one way, 3 points the other. Can Help Heroes with Pierre back to serve. Pull up another couple.
You would hope so. You would want so. That's when the likes of Charlie just say to him, Pierre, take your time, get these runner points in. Because that'll push us right back to being level again.
Kevin Tan says not so fast with a monster cross court.
Yeah, Kev Tan's just left his coach Steve Smith hanging there. Steve's not very happy. But look, Kev Tan, fantastic hit with the ball, technical wise, fantastic. Top of the ball, hit down, win point. That's a great shot there by Charlie Walker. He's in position 4. He's cut the ball on the angle and he's gone to the opposite side in position 4. Unfortunately, Bingley wasn't ready. It's a great shot there by Charlie.
So, Anslow, to serve, 2 point deficit, 2-1 down in this Grand Prix final. Pierre with the one-handed dig. Richardson going to set his old compatriot John Monroe and finds the win as Leeds North celebrate on court number 1. And Sitting Bucks will be hoping to join them in about 10-15 minutes time if they can close this out in 4.
Yeah.
The other dangerous Monroe on to serve. And again, another kill. Rana, good hands, but couldn't quite direct the ball inwards enough.
Yeah, you look at Kev Tan now. He's getting in the groove. He's getting them hits in. And that's the runner points here. That's what Sitting Bucks want.
As the block by Bingley, who just checking he's not hurt. He's just worried about his left shoulder temporarily.
Great serve there by Monroe. Top spin right over the top.
As Worrell misses on the cross court, and Sitting Bucks starting to pull away from this very quickly.
Yeah, I think they're using their experience here to push away and take the set to win the match.
Pierre again having to play defense on the serve receive, can't do a lot with the power. Tight, great pickup. Steve Smith head in hands, no real angle to attack, and Help the Heroes find a way to win the point. It wasn't the prettiest.
Yeah, Bingley, I think, saw bright lights and thought, I'm having this, and unfortunately took it off Ked's hands and he hit it out of play. When you see that ball coming towards you as a hitter, or any player on sitting volleyball court, you think, I'm having this. No. Oh, that is the right decision. Apologies to referees there. I got a bit too excited.
You're allowed.
As Kev Tan's come back to serve here. I think it's an important part. Runner serves. I think that's what's taken away the sets to serves. The 4-5 serves that John Monroe's done. Maybe Kev could do the same, but hopefully the Hero's going to side out from here.
As Worrell goes into the block, and they put it over a second time, and unfortunately Kev Tan couldn't quite get enough on his contact to get it towards his setter, Rob Richardson.
Yeah, the three most experienced players on court there. Just in communication, they're all in a circle looking at each other, thinking, who me, you?
Reminder, long weekend of action here in the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering. This is final 1 and 2 of 11 this weekend. We also have the sitting showcase next up. We'll talk about that briefly. As Rana able to get to it into the block. Bingley not getting called for the lift that Pierre wanted.
Yeah, I think he just used his long arms there, Bingley, to get the ball down, and Jockham's a bit frustrated, so he thought he'd call anything that he wanted. But unfortunately, referees didn't see the same. Great set there. Wasn't trying to find the angle.
And the ball off the antenna, trying to rescue it, was Michael Knight, but not a lot he could do in that position.
Yeah, Rob tried to go for the set into position 2, but we pushed it a bit too far to the net there, and Michael just didn't get out quick enough to get in the angle to hit into position 2.
As Worrell, with his serving rows, tries to change it up, goes kind of more underhand, and unfortunately, again, he's just not quite worked for him on serve today.
Yeah, he's not having the greatest day, unfortunately, so he thought he'd try something different. I don't know what's going on with his serving. He's just getting a bit frustrated. He's overthinking it now.
As he had that service run to start the game, as well as
the
kill by Anslow, who's definitely been a difference maker. The rest of the offense for Help Heroes has kind of quietened up. Anslow's come through and just able to chip away at the scoreboard.
Yeah, they just get it point by point there. They should be back in this within minutes, hopefully. That's what we want. Oh, great block by there, great block. Unfortunately, Colin just didn't get out. Rob saw the middle position free, so he's gone into the middle, but Colin just didn't take a few bum shuffles back to give himself space to have a position A or B, so unfortunately he's been blocked by the big man. Oh.
As that ball going deep into the court, able to recycle, tries to go over
Second
quickly,
time.
knowing he couldn't have a good set, didn't have hitting options, and that ball right onto the back line by John Monroe.
Yeah, you go back to a reliable duo there of Rob Richardson and John Monroe. He knows where his boy is, so he's getting that ball out to the position 4, and Munners is spiking that ball down. And this is where Rob Richardson should be coming into his element here. He thrives under pressure, so let's hope he gets on there to get this ball in. Yeah, the boys try to be cute there, but unfortunately they've second time that into the net, and you can see Charlie Walker's not very happy with that because he likes 3-touch volleyball.
The touch on the serve, and Help the Heroes going to need to talk it over, trailing 17-10. This final that started so well for them is really just starting to slip away.
Yeah, the boys have come back. The experience of Sitting Bucks have actually come back into this game, and the boys that kind of helped them out, like the likes of Kev, the likes of Jonas, even Michael Knight has come back in and working his magic, and Colin's kind of working as well. That's why they're a great team, because they all work together as a team, and they're doing a fantastic job here and pushing away to hopefully win the 4th title of a sitting volleyball career. Because it looks like Rob Richardson, this could be his 10th or 11th national championship final with 3 or 4 different teams. Monroe as well, he's had about 5 or 6. So experience of them, Kev as well. So they could be up there with the very best of sitting volleyball and winning 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 national finals. Rob goes back to the line here, so hopefully he gets a good run of serves.
Richardson's serving pressure's definitely been a big change for Sitting Bucks, who didn't have anything quite clicking in set number 1. And this time he goes low down line again, can't quite handle it, ball off the antenna, going out of play anyway.
Yeah, there's that dangerous line serve I was talking about. There's too much there's too much of a gap there. It kind of weighs him in. He says, right, I'm going line because I can see the gap. Oh, big hit.
Other with the cross court beats the defense of Bingley in the back row.
Yeah, it's communication with the boys there and Sitting Bucks. They're going to say to each other, right, let's side out straight away. Let's pressurise them. Let's push them towards the end now. Yeah.
As Tan trying to line up that cross court into the block, but recycle ball and a big swing on the cross court by Goodbrand, going 2-2.
That's, I mean, the position of Goodbrand there. He's backed off. He's found the area that he wanted to get, and he's got the angle to hit him to cross court. So that's that fantastic shot there by Colin. And Colin's back here to serve. He's got a very unique serve. It's not the hardest, it's not the strongest, but it just confuses the passing unit at the back there.
So we're going to see a change for Sitting Bucks. Daniel Bingley's going to come out the game and be replaced by Natalie Lewis for her first action of the final.
Yeah, she's coming from the Invictus Games. Just recently she went out to the Invictus Games, I think it's Canada, and she played out in there. She's not been playing long, so this is a great experience to her to carry on and playing. So hopefully she can get a few points and gain experience from playing.
Indeed, as Sitting Bucks closing in on what would be a 4th in a row Grand Prix title, would be just 1 behind the all-time Grand Prix leaders, the East London Lynx. As Monroe gets the touch off Worrell.
Yeah, he's there, he's ready. Mr. Reliable, Mr. Postman, always delivers when he gets in that position. The boy is ready to hit. He's just taking this game by storm now. He's just using the experience of hitting the ball into court. Top spin serve here on Monroe.
As that ball, and he's put him for the MVP.
Yeah, I think there with a few.
Has had a big game. Bingley's had a big job out the middle as well. As Help the Heroes seeing if they can do anything. There's a point that will help. The ball just touching the fingertips of Natalie Lewis.
Yeah, I like that there from the guys on that side and the girls, because you can definitely tell that if it was a bit closer, I don't feel like they would have told the referee to touch their fingers there. Yeah, you can see every ball now is going to Monroe. He's on fire.
As Kev Tan back to the service line for what we expect to be the last time.
Yeah.
Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, you never know. You never know sitting volleyball. But like I say, you can see that there. There's such a strong top spin serve from the lad.
Fight from net won by Natalie Lewis. She gets on the scoreboard.
Yeah, she definitely. That's what I mean. The experience there. She's blocked them. Can Kev Tan finish this off with 2 points?
Another change for the sitting Buck side into the game for his first time is number 1, Guillemere Grange. As Worrell wins the point on the block.
Yeah, I think that'll give Wazza a bit more confidence when it comes to the next Grand Prix or next time he plays sitting volleyball.
And it will be Charlie Walker, the Help for Heroes player coach, with an almost impossible task. Needing a run of service points. There's one though.
You never know.
Rob Richardson couldn't quite keep the ball up. That one into the block. They're going to call something. Justin, help me out there.
That was a net touch there from...
net touch?
Yeah, it was a net touch there by number 1. He just got a bit too excited when he was trying to counter block.
You're in a Grand Prix final. You've got to try and get yourself on the scoreboard with a point.
Yeah, I think one of the... Oh.
As Richardson tried to go cross court on the set, but instead puts it on the wrong side.
Yeah, you can see that's 3 or 4 points now. You get 3 or 4 more points here from Charlie. He's very controlled of what he does. So if he gets 3, oh, look at this.
Gets the ace, and all of a sudden, 4, 5 in a row. So a little bit of finals nerves creeping in for this experience.
I can see it here from the lads. You can see Charlie, but he's very knowledgeable. He can find the gaps. He's cool, calm, and collected. So hopefully he can get, if he gets back three more points, the boys on the sitting Bucks team will start getting a little bit nervous.
Rob Richardson having to hit again instead of set. Overpass. Dealt with. Good dig. Worrell finds the joust at the net. It's going to get it back. Puts it vertical.
Oh,
this is a big point for Help for Heroes, and they win it. And all of a sudden, Steve Smith wants a timeout to talk it over. Help for Heroes. 5 in a row all of a sudden. And... we said stranger things have happened. This would be up there, though.
I think it'd be a great comeback if Charlie can keep his composure. The thing is, he knows the weaknesses on Sitting Bucks' side. He knows he's not the greatest passing. So he can find the gaps in between and passing and gets maybe 2, 3 more points. Then he might be back in this. We might be going to a 5th set. But this is what you see on the Sitting Bucks side now with Rob talking on the bench. He's saying, right, let's just get that first ball in, that first pass in, and we'll work from that. Get that ball into that setter, and then we'll work from there. You can see Rob on the court there, just talking to Charlie, talking to Kev, and telling him, this is where I want it. This is where you're gonna.
So big moment for the passing unit, and Monroe gets aced. No coach's point on the timeout. And Natalie Lewis, who I'm not going to lie, didn't do anything wrong, gets subbed out.
Yeah, I feel it's just to change it up a little bit. I think with Bingley,
a bit more blocking height at the net with Bingley as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's just finding the block in the height of the block there, just to kind of counteract that, because Charlie is finding the gap there. It's great set there. I appreciate
all of you joining us in the comments. Let us know your thoughts of where you would go with the MVP. As Pierre goes down the line, wins another one. And a reminder, this was 23-13. This is now 23-21. And again, Grange coming out the game. Going back in with Michael Knight. So experience for the sitting Bucks.
Yeah, you can see they've gone back to basics here. 3 at the front, 3 at the back, just to kind of steady the game. Great pass there by Monroe.
A lot of contact on the net, no touch. Worrell tried to push it deep. Great pickup by Tan. Backcourt pipe is an overpass. Richardson tries the tip. Worrell going to set it.
No one wants to hit the ball here. They're all trying to find the gaps.
Backcourt pipe, well dug up. 3 ball going over from Tan, who just about stays legal on the stretch. Another dig. This is arguably the longest rally of the game. The most crucial point.
Monroe again. Oh no.
3 ball for the first time. Help for Heroes have got an advantage, but Bingley has the monster solo block. But it all starts with the defense of Kev Tan. That was 3 monster digs.
Yeah, definitely. Kev Tan was concentrating there, waiting for every ball to come. They were trying to work him around that back part of the court, but he was there every time. And Bingley there, big block by Bingley to take the point there. Now they're only 1 point away.
Prix Championship Grand Prix points, and Pierre puts it into the net, and the Sitting Bucks complete the four-peat here in the Grand Prix final, 25-21 in set number 4, having dropped the opening set 25-13. They then win the next 23-25, 16-25, and then the 21-25 fourth set. And Justin, huge run late for Help for Heroes, but I think that sums up the experience of this Sitting Bucks team. Everything was going wrong, 8 in a row, and then just closed it out 2 in a row, really nice and solid, winning that huge long rally. Yeah,
I think the experience showed, like you say, they definitely kind of changed now, went back to basics. There wasn't anyone kind of working at the back, so like I say, they went really well, and they just went back to basics. You look hugging from Steve and Michael there. They're the founders of Sitting Volleyball Bucks, so they're happy to win it again this time. I'm happy for them, but hopefully next year there's someone to push them all the way, because they can't win it 5 in a row.
Well, they
can, but I'm hoping to Help the Heroes. You've got the likes of Lincoln, you've got Prix, who hopefully I'll be playing next year, and we can push them all the way and hopefully not let them win 5 in a row.
There's the challenge brought out to the entire sitting community. Can you beat them? Obviously, you've got Sitting Bucks. I see Richard Osborne in the crowd with Ian Legrand as well here at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering. And obviously, as we get ready for our presentation, obviously you've got Sitting Showcase next. Justin, obviously you've got such big sitting game. What are you looking forward to with the showcase, and obviously moving forward as well into international summer?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good to just showcase sport, because a lot of people have heard of it but never played it. So we can show how fun how fast-paced it actually is, and getting a lot of people involved. Because I've gone to taster days, I've done a lot of these experience days, and every time someone's played sitting volleyball, they love it. They get the vibe for it. They keep on wanting to play. And that's what I want. We want the likes of Rob, Kev, myself, Charlie, want to show the experience, showcase the love of sitting volleyball.
As we just get ready for presentation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the boys. This never gets old for the lads. The lads have maybe won it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, but winning a competition, winning a final, never gets boring.
As JC comes up and just checks we've done our job in the commentary booth, which we more than well have.
Yeah, JC's a busy man this weekend with everything going on in the media and Volleyball England.
As we get ready for the 2 teams to present. Reminder, next game on court number 1 will be the men's national shield game between Wessex and Coventry and Warwick Riga. And then after the sitting showcase here on court 2, we'll have the under 16 boys final. Richmond and Urmston Grammar will battle. Those 2 teams meeting in multiple age groups, so that all including under 15s tomorrow. So preview of that one, as we are just about ready for our presentation part. Is our MC on court number 2, Mark Perkins, has headed courtside.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic game that we've witnessed here. Sitting Bucks, like I said, showed the experience and really played. You can see the guys over there on the bench, they're happy to win. Rob Richardson wins his 10th or 11th competition now. So we're just waiting for the award ceremony and the MVP.
Indeed. As I'm seeing Mark Perkins just having a little chat with the Bucks players, and see both teams getting ready for the presentation.
Yeah, like I said, speaking about earlier, sitting volleyball community. Mark's the volleyball community and volleyball for a very, very long time. So all the guys and girls quite know him personally. I've known him since I was 19, 20 years old, playing my first game of volleyball. So we've all known him quite well.
Oh, we've managed to drag him away from the beach for the weekend.
Exactly, but he's a very busy man. All I hear is he's doing commentary in Italian volleyball, does beach volleyball. The main volleyball is sitting volleyball.
Indeed, and obviously we'll also have a chat with a couple of the British volleyball staff during the sitting showcase. I think Joanna Cook is coming up to talk about obviously the pathway as a whole, but a feature as well on the sitting team and the plans going forward.
Yeah, my boss.
Your boss indeed, and we'll get an update on the programme. Obviously, looking ahead on the international scene, it's going to be a busy summer coming up.
Yeah, definitely. International 18 months. So with the sitting volleyball, we've got who's kind of brought to the sport as well. So we've just we start our season hopefully the next month or two to kind of work towards the international stage coming on towards 26. We're not where we want to be, but I feel like if we can bring some younger players and we can integrate them into it, and we can push towards hopefully a medal or top 5, top 6 finish in our competition.
As both teams now lining up for the presentation. Taking a little bit longer than we expected, but
just need to make sure they got enough medals on it.
As just about ready.
Yeah. This got better team. Happy as hell in competition for his beloved team. As like Richardson, just making sure his trainers on. Make sure it's all about him.
Of course. Well, I mean, when you're the GB captain, you can do.
I say I've done 15 years. He's been my roommate 12, 13 years. We got a competition, so I can get away with saying something like that.
I definitely couldn't, but you can.
Yeah, I should be all right. I hope so.
Party onto court. And of course, as ever, we'll start with our 2 match officials. Lucy Liu and Herman Prado, and they did a really good job controlling this game. There's definitely some fire, definitely a bit of trash talk, definitely some emotion.
Yeah, definitely. I think they worked really well because you get some referees that have not got kind of the confidence that they have, and like you said, with the #1 ref, he's nominated for Ref of the Year, so that's why he's been put in charge of this match.
Now time for our runners-up for the final. Second runners-up medals, having lost out in the cup final about a month ago.
Yeah.
Is the Help for Heroes team. They're obviously roster led by their captain, Frank Ava, then their libero, Nisha Rana, Daniel Kitcher, Caroline Duffy, Joaquin Pierre, John Dixon, Angela Fairburn, John Morrill, Charlie Walker, and Christopher Anslow. They'll have some regret from that final, leading 1-0, and they just ultimately just lost out with that serving pressure.
Yeah, I think they tried and they needed to push towards the second set, but unfortunately didn't do it. So that'll take them a minute. Hopefully, that'll make them better going on towards next season. They've lost 2 finals in a row now, so hopefully they'll push towards next season and get the double and win the final and win the cup final too.
The team that didn't make a final last year is a step up, making finals. Finals.
Exactly. So they can take positive feedback from that. They've made finals, but unfortunately they lost out the good players.
Indeed, and this sitting Bucks team that have won the 4th Grand Prix in a row. Number 3, the captain John Moreau. Number 4, Natalie Lewis. Number 5, Paul Jeffrey. Number 7, Colin Goodbrand. Number 8, Michael Knight. Number 9, Daniel Bingley. 10, Kev Tan. Number 1, Gillimer Grange. Number 14, Rob Richardson, of course, the player, coach, Steve Smith, and Steve Smith's done such a good job with this team It's not easy blending in some of the experience with a couple of new players as well to the team, but they've done a really good job. They've won every Grand Prix stage this season.
Yeah, definitely. He's got such a great coaching philosophy, the way that he wants to play. He's brought the experienced players in to work with the inexperienced players, and they've gelled so well.
As the MVP, probably rightly so, John Monroe. A huge game. Wasn't good in set number 1, but ever since Pierre fired him up at the net in set 2, he was a man possessed.
Yeah, definitely. He wasn't very happy when he kept getting blocked, so that's why he pushed himself into the second, third, and fourth set, and that's why he's won.
As the trophy now being presented in front of the banner, your 4th time in a row Grand Prix champions are the Sitting Bucks.
Yeah, they're very happy to win 4 in a row. It never gets boring winning all these competitions. So like I say, we put the challenge out for next year. Can someone beat Sitting Bucks?
You see it on your screen, the final score. Help Heroes winning the first set 25-13, but then 25-23, 25-15 and 25-21 the final score. From myself, Mike Hanson and Justin Phillips alongside me. We appreciate you joining us, and stay tuned. We'll have the Sitting Showcase running in about 30 minutes here, and if not, head over to court number 1 for the men's shield final. That's a 1:30 first serve. Coventry and White Riga will take on Wessex, but for now, that is your Sitting Grand Prix final.
Thank you very much.